One Piece chapter 1170 is out. I just reread it. I read it twice today now already. Just to double check some things and get it back into my head properly. And let's talk about it. So we start the chapter off with Loki again getting attacked by Ragnir. And Loki's like completely caught off guard. It's like, what is going on? Who threw that hammer at me? Like, he's like, there's gotta be somewhere one here. Like, what is going on? And I think he tries to pick up the hammer. Or no, he doesn't try to pick up the hammer, but like stuff is under Ragnir. Like the castle is collapsing under Ragnir. Like boulders are falling down. And he's like, that hammer can't be that heavy, man. It's impossible that it's that heavy. And then we hear Harald yell after Loki. It's like, Loki, it's futile. You won't be able to eat the mythical treasure of Elbaf. Because Ragnir is protecting it. He goes to and explains that the devil fruit has not been eaten for centuries. Not because no one wanted to eat it, but because they couldn't. They were incapable of eating it because Ragnir didn't deem anyone worthy. That's the translation I got. It might be like one-to-one the words he's actually been using. So Ragnir, much like Mjolnir, needs to deem someone worthy to be able to use the power. Very, very, very interesting. Okay. And Harald is like, but yeah, now that I have so much power, I will be able to do it. And he can't quite finish his sentence because Shanks and Gaban cut him, hurt him, and then we have a conversation between Shanks and Gaban, and Gaban is like, yeah, keep going, he's hurting really bad now, Shanks. Like, people like him, they are weak to conquer Saki coating. And Shanks is asking like, oh, you know about the weakness of the Gods Knights? How so? How do you know about that? And Gaban explains that the Gods Knight actually came after Shanks. And we get a short flashback inside of the flashback where the Gods Knights were next to Roger's ship in a different ship. And they were like, give us Shanks, give us the red-haired boy. He looks like our captain's son. Give him to us. And Gaban tells Shanks that they cut them down and fought a lot against them, and he kind of thinks back of it fondly, like, yeah, that was fun cutting those assholes down, man. I had a lot of fun doing that. And Shanks is like, yeah, oh yeah, I think one of those other guys mentioned it, actually, to me. Summers did mention that to him before. That, Summers got cut down by Gaban. Now we know why Summers is afraid of Gaban. It wasn't on God Valley where they met and where he got cut down, but after God Valley, they tried to go after Shanks. And Summers got to know Gaban's axes a little bit better than he would like to. Yeah, serves him right. Hate that guy. Yeah. So we cut back to Loki fighting Ragnar, and it's rather short. It's not a big fight like One Piece. It is all about story. It's not about fights. The fights are not really the highlight for me, at least. And basically we have Loki be like, alright, this is enough. Pull out his hammer and clash with Ragnir directly. And Loki's hammer shatters into a million pieces. Like it just crumbles to dust. Just a stick left over in Loki's hand, and he's like, "What the fuck what is this?" But then we see like a bump on Ragnir, one of these cartoonish injuries, and Ragnir turns into what seems to be a squirrel. Like he has these two long front teeth and a big tail, fluffy tail, so I think it's supposed to be a squirrel. I looked up some animals, like the teeth could also be the teeth of a marmot, but the tail doesn't fit, so yeah, it's most likely supposed to be a cartoonish squirrel. I now don't know of any like mythical animal that's a squirrel. I couldn't find anything that quickly, but yeah, Ragnir seems to me to be a squirrel. And he's like, "Oh, okay, take the fruit. You're worthy. You hurt me? You fight good, man. You can have the fruit." So Loki takes the fruit and eats it. And transforms, and Oda doesn't show to us what Loki transforms into. He just shows two like giant glowing eyes. And Loki is going after Harald, and we have this one shot of a silhouette where Loki is holding Harald like in a giant beastly claw. It must be like a hybrid form. And yeah, that's the one thing Oda gave us in this chapter. It's a silhouette of Loki's devil fruit. No name for the devil fruit, no nothing what the devil fruit is, not even a clear look at how Loki looks like. He has a really long face, so I was and still kind of am on the side that Loki has the Fenrir fruit. Like I just reread facts about the myth of Fenrir today, and it just fits too well for Loki not to have the Fenrir fruit. Like Fenrir in the myth is the god killer and the killer of the king of gods, Odin. And Fenrir was chained up by the gods, tricked by the gods to be chained up, and ate the arm of one of the gods though while being chained up, because like they kind of tricked him. They were like, "Hey Fenrir, you're so strong, so we put you in these chains and you break free of them to show us how strong you are, because you're a strong guy. Hey, you can do that, sure." And Fenrir broke free of the chains the gods made 2 times. But then the gods went and got special chains from the dark elves. And these chains have a bunch of interesting ingredients. The only one I remember right now is the beard of a woman. So and Fenrir's chains have the beard of a woman in them, because that makes them strong, I guess. The mythical bearded woman. Anyways, Fenrir sees those chains and is like, "Yeah, those are pretty strong chains. You guys want to trick me, yeah? You guys think you're sly. Okay, I'm gonna put these chains around myself, but you put your arm into my mouth. So if you don't free me, if I can't break them, I'm gonna bite your arm off." And that's what happens. Fenrir chains himself up. He can't free himself. He sees, the gods tricked me, and they don't have any intention of freeing him. So he bites down, eats one of the gods' arms, which reminds me of the Gods' Knights and having the tattoo on the arms, and Shanks losing his arm to a beast with his tattoo in it. Shanks, one of the Gods' Knights, one of the gods that loses an arm. kind of a parallel there, isn't there? Loki being chained up, who was taken in by Shanks, the guy that lost his arm. Interesting, isn't it? And another connection between Loki and Fenrir is, in the myth, Fenrir is a son of the mother of the wolves and who? Loki. The Loki, the trickster giant, by the way. So Loki and Fenrir are connected. Huh? So what doesn't fit that is the silhouette. It does not really look like a wolf to me. Looks more like a horse. But the hand we see is more like claw-like. So maybe it's still a Fenrir. Like sometimes in like cartoonish forms, wolves are drawn with like these really, really long snouts, like especially in older cartoons, and older is often getting like inspirations of those. Like maybe it's still Fenrir. If it's not, I have no idea what it else would be. Like Fenrir just fits so well as the world devourer. Loki wants to destroy the world and defeat all the gods and kill all the gods, aka Emu and his gods knights. Because Emu and his gods knights were the ones that took in his father. But enough about the devil fruit, we have the end of the chapter. And I'm gonna be honest, I shed a single tear at the end of the chapter. It is heartbreaking, as One Piece often is. Like Loki comes in with his devil fruit and Ragnir, and he beats up Harald. And he beats up Harald enough, and like Harald kind of burns. Like some of his wounds look weird, like they're burned away or something. So I'm not sure what this power exactly is, but it seems to like be pretty strong. Also, it just Loki eating the devil fruit was such a power up instantly. Like it is a strong devil fruit at the very least. Like whatever it is strong. And Harald gets wounded so much that he comes to his senses again, and he has one last moment where he can talk to Loki. And he's like, I knew you could do it, Loki. You got the color of a true king in you. I knew you would be the one to do it. And Loki's like, oh, Father, you're coming back to your senses. It's all right. You can be saved. And Harald is like, nah. And Loki's like, oh, you just have been manipulated. And Harald is like, nah, it's not like that. It's different. Like I considered myself really a god. Like I thought of myself as a god. Like above others, so he himself considered himself a god. So like the guards he killed and everyone else was so beneath him that he didn't consider them on the same level anymore as the same creature, like very much like we just trample on bugs, maybe. That's how Harald saw himself. He's like, yeah, I haven't been entirely just controlled. Like, I felt like this. And it won't last for long that I'm able to think again. And we see him regenerating, and especially we see the tattoo on his arm regenerating. So I guess if you like take out a God's Knight's arm for like a often or long enough, they might actually come to the senses. The influence of emo veins then maybe is kind of implied here. And he's like, Loki, you have to finish this. You have to kill me. And Loki is like in tears. He's like, how can you make your son do this? You're the worst dad. It is it is a moving scene, man. What can I say? And Harald is like, one last thing. Thanks for what you did with the alcohol brewers village, the village that poisoned Ida. It's like that really moved me. Like, it didn't bring Ida back, but it really moved me how much you loved Ida. And final scene of the chapter. What did I say? Loki takes Ragnir. I kind of mixed up Odin, Loki, and Ragnir there. Well, Loki picks up Ragnir, takes the hammer, and blasts Harald with it, and he basically turns into dust, like he completely dies, and we just have a panel of Loki crying, basically, to end the chapter. End of chapter. Ah, I don't think that's the end of the flashback yet, because we still need to figure out how Loki got where he was chained to the tree. And well, I made an entire whole video about that, where basically just the short gist of it is Loki's gonna ask Gaban and Shanks to not tell anyone the real story, what happened. Loki's the one who's gonna be like, I'm gonna take the burden, don't tell anyone what Harald did, and I'm just gonna be the bad guy here. That's the short stick of it. I made an entire video of it. Gonna put it right here. But anyway, that was the chapter. Goodbye.